Now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk, and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to discuss some topics regarding UK fighters. Some news has been coming out the last few days. As you know, I made a video discussing and giving my thoughts on the whole Alvarez-Golovkin situation where he was arrested under the RICO Act, accused of being in organized crime, extortion, drugs, all kind of crazy shit, murder for hire, conspiracy, all that good shit, or all that bad shit. But, with that happening, he's unable to travel to the UK to, challenge WBO middleweight champion Joe Saunders July 8th like he was supposed to, because that is serious charges, and you can't trust a guy who's being accused of that type of crime to travel, because he could, escape, hide and go to another country and never be, brought back, extradited back to America to stand trial if he indeed is, they proceed with actually finding evidence on him that he was one of the participants. But let's talk about Joe Saunders, who has a mandatory that's long overdue, so he cannot make a voluntary defense, because, like I said, he's had his voluntary defenses, and the mandatory is long overdue, and it was supposed to be against Kirkaside, but that's not going to happen now. So with that being said, he won't be fighting July 8th, and he's going to have to be patient and wait to hear whether or not, Kirkaside will still be able to be the mandatory, or if they'll just bump the number 2 guy up to the number 1 spot and schedule a fight for later this year. And Saunders said that the top priority is still Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, who fights September 16th. So he wants to, fight one of those guys bad in a unification bout. He wants to solidify himself. He says, he does a lot of talking, but not a lot of fighting against top competition. But he says those two are the top priority. So we got to see how that plays out. But former WBA regular middleweight champion Daniel Jacobs, who, in my opinion, defeated Gennady Golovkin this past March, tweeted out that he would and love to fight and would love to step in for Kirkaside to face Joe Saunders. But we all know that it's just not possible, because boxing is a business first and foremost. You have to negotiate a fair deal, and although like a month out from that fight, it just wouldn't make sense for a fight of that magnitude to just be thrown together. Both guys will have to come to an agreement, and we know that Daniel Jacobs' name holds way more weight than Kirkaside, who was the mandatory. So he want to get paid, handsomely, like he was paid in the Golovkin fight. So that's one problem. Also, TV networks, they would want to stage that fight on Showtime or somewhere, because that is a big fight in the middleweight division. A lot of people would love to see that fight. And, it's just got to have time to, promote the fight, give Jacobs the proper, 8 to 10 weeks to train for the fight, because Joe Saunders, as scary as he seems to be, he has some good skills and he's a solid fighter. So we just have to wait and see what happens with Joe Saunders and who he will face next in his mandatory, fight that has to happen, which is long overdue. Now let's go to some smaller weight classes. Carl Frampton, former 2-division winner, who's moving up to featherweight, is expected to return July 29th in Belfast, and he come out saying that Lee Selby, the IBF featherweight champion, he feel misled, that he just drug him through the mud and negotiations, because Lee Selby knew that he had to face Jonathan Barros, who is his mandatory. They were scheduled to fight on the undercard of Frampton Santa Cruz 2, but fight was canceled the day before the weigh-in due to Barris is a health issue, but apparently he's good now, and they're going to fight sometime this summer. But you know, Selby is one of the weaker champions in boxing. You know, he's one of the weaker champions in the featherweight division. So I expect, you know, him to pull some shit like this. Carl Frampton is a very good fighter. He fought 2 terrific fights with Leo Santa Cruz, winning the first one, losing the second one. They were supposed to have, they entertained a trilogy, but Leo Santa Cruz, you know, rejected the idea of going over to Belfast, fighting on Frampton's home turf. Even though Frampton came over here twice and fought him, you know, Cruz wasn't, you know, comfortable with that. I would have liked to see a Carl Frampton Lee Selby fight. It would have been a big fight over there in the UK. But Selby knew that he couldn't face anybody but Jonathan Barros, because like Billy Saunders, he has a long overdue mandatory defense, which has to happen before he can face anybody else, unless he wants to be stripped of his IBF featherweight title, which I know he doesn't want. But like I said, hopefully that fight can happen down the line. Carl Frampton says he still expects to have a big fight July 29th in Belfast. It'll be interesting to see who he faces, because he is moving up from 126 to 130. You know he started off his career at 118, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles the bigger guys at 130, and you know, if he's gonna have some power, or how his approach will be, because he's not a big guy, but he's very skillful and very determined. And you know, he didn't have a lot of critical acclaim and high hopes for no reason, so we're gonna see how it plays out. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talk, man. Turn those notifications on so you can get notified every time we upload new videos. Follow us on Twitter at Colossal CBT. Head over to Facebook. Smack that like button on the Colossal Boxing Talk Facebook page. Show some support. Leave those comments in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.